All right, welcome to Thoughts from the Jeep, okay? So I'm driving down the road and I was thinking about something, right? I am building my Jeep on a budget. Not because I don't like quality parts, but because I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, let's take this thing off-road. Let's use some of these budget parts and let's see how these things hold up and how they withstand compared to, you know, something that's a little bit more pricey. Because as everybody knows, just because it's expensive doesn't always make it better, right? And that's the case with a lot of things, right? I mean, it's just, you know, sometimes you're solely paying just for the name. So when you look at, you know, when you look at different things like that, a quick, you know, 2-minute Amazon, Google, or Amazon search, whatever, you know, Google search from bumpers on Amazon, and you find Hooke Road is one of the ones that pops up, right? So I ordered these front and rear bumpers from Hooke Road, and there's a couple things I like about them, a couple things I don't like about them, and this is gonna be a short video, so I'm just gonna talk about those quick things. I'll get into a more detailed review of the bumpers a little bit later, on another video, a whole nother video, right? So first off, kind of first thoughts about these bumpers. They come to me, the packaging on these bumpers is the worst I've ever seen in my life. Now, what do I mean? I mean that it looks like they took the skinniest, thinnest cardboard box they could possibly find and they jammed this bumper into it and they wrapped it up with a little bit of plastic. So by the time it made it to me, the edge of the bumper where it comes up at the far outside corner was sticking out of the cardboard box and apparently had been rubbed across the ground a few times. So the paint was all the way scratched off it. Now it is a textured paint on it, right? So it's got a textured coating, which is good. It gives it a nice kind of a rugged look, but that was scratched and like almost like, you know, sanded off, I guess, from being drug across, you know, whatever it was drug across. So there's that. Now, is that a big deal? Is that a deal breaker? Not for me. I mean, a little bit of black spray paint, and, you know, and I call it a day, right? So not a huge deal. Would I suggest to them that they like kind of work on their packaging a little bit? Absolutely. Now, the bumper is significantly higher quality than what I was expecting for a, you know, $200 and below bumper for a Jeep Wrangler. So I was expecting to get something that was a really thin metal that would have a lot of flex to it because it's, you know, it's not very, very sturdy. It's not braced very well, you know, but that's not the case. So it's actually a pretty decent gauge steel on this thing. Now, I don't know where these things are made. I'll get into all the more details and specifics in another video, but from what I see, you know, it's got a lot of bracing in it, which is good, right? And the steel is a pretty decent thickness, right? I mean, it's not like a flimsy bumper. Now, aesthetically pleasing, yes, I like the way it looks. It looks really, really good on the Jeep. That's my personal opinion. There are a couple of flaws with it. The light pods that are on the front that are mounted into there, they're not exactly 100%, you know, symmetrical, I guess, if you will. You got one side that's, you know, kind of flush mounted and looks really, really nice. On the other side of the bumper, you got one that's a little bit more recessed and it looks like the lights kind of, you know, set back in the bumper a little bit further. Now, again, on a sub $200 bumper, is this a deal breaker? Absolutely not. If you're paying $1,000 for a bumper, then you expect to get something that's 100%, you know, perfect, right? But on a bumper that costs, you know, $199, $219, whatever it was, somewhere around that range, I'm not expecting perfection, but I got better than what I actually got better than what I was expecting. I will say that much. So if you're looking for a bumper that you don't want to sink a whole lot of money into because you know you're going to tear it up on the trail, but you want to make sure that it's going to protect your vehicle too, I mean, I'd give Hooke Road a chance. I would give them a chance. I mean, I absolutely would. Now, packaging, work on that, right? All the other little kinks and stuff, I mean, those are things that, you know what, you take it or leave it, right? I mean, it's kind of up to you. You tell what makes the big difference for you. So, listen, that's my first thoughts on these Hooke Road bumpers. Now, I have not had them off-road yet. So as soon as I take them off-road, which will probably be in the next week or so, then I will have a much more accurate view and I'll be able to give you guys a little bit more details about how they stand up outdoors in the elements. So until then, stay bearded, happy Jeeping.